so proud of all who are graduating and everything that you've accomplished.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, class of 2022.
Wishing you immense joy and continued success in the next step and adventures in your life. Chase your dreams, continue to be true to yourself, your passions, and your heart.
Go Hoyas.
We love you so, so much, and we're so proud of you.
We are beyond proud of you.
Resilient, courageous, brilliant young adults.
And we can't wait to watch you change the world.
I just wanted to say congratulations on your graduation. I'm so excited, and today I'm celebrating you.
We're so proud of you.
You have mastered it. Congratulations to you.
What could we say except for you're amazing.
Go forth and conquer your dreams. We love you.
Congratulations on post-graduation.
Congratulations on graduating. You worked so hard for this.
Entire class of 2022, aloha!
Woohoo! Congratulations, Georgetown, class of 2022.
Congratulations on your PhD.
Everything you've done and all that you are and what you're going to become. I just can't wait to see the next chapter in your life.
Estoy muy feliz de ser tu tía y de compartir este día especial con vos.
Happy graduation. I love you.
Congrats to the class of 2022.
Hoya Saxa, we love you very much, and we're so proud of you.
Georgetown class of 2022, the sky's the limit.
I'm so excited to see what is in store for you in the future. I love you so much, and go Hoyas.
I can't wait to see how far you go in life. You have the capability to do anything.
We are so proud of all your hard work, and we are excited to see your next journey.
We're all so happy to see you graduate from Georgetown.
We're really proud of you.
Hoya Saxa.
Me hace súper feliz. Te quiero mucho.
Hoya Saxa!
Hoya Saxa!
Go Georgetown! Hoya, Hoya Saxa!
We love you.
Go to Hoya.
Hoya Saxa.
And congratulations to all the Georgetown graduates.
Hoyas, today is your day. Each step you take has brought you here. Anticipation, hope, perseverance, and determination. You have left your mark. This is your legacy. You brought a wave of strength and resilience to DC, overcoming challenges unseen for generations, and you rose to the occasion. Ready to defy expectations, each step you take is rooted in your dreams, aspirations, and vision for the future. Today is the culmination of all your hard work and the spark that will ignite change in the world. One class on the verge of greatness, a class built for this moment, rises to meet the moment. We gather with our families, friends, and loved ones today to celebrate the class of 2022. Your gifts, your talents, your fullest selves, poised to make an impact far beyond the hilltop. Our mission, as people for others, has just begun. Each step you take, we take together. Because with each step, you are part of something bigger. A community of Hoyas who lives our values out loud. From that first step onto the hilltop to the next step out into the world ahead, we are forever Hoyas. Today, we step forward as Hoyas, a community who knows no bounds. Together, we are unstoppable. Together, we are Georgetown. Every Hoya, this is your moment. Let it be heard. Hoya Saxa.
President DeGioia, Provost Groves, distinguished guests, members of the faculty, members of the graduating class, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're live, and we're very much in person on our glorious Healy lawn. Welcome to the 2022 commencement exercises of Georgetown University and the ceremony for our Walsh School of Foreign Service, the oldest school of international affairs in the United States. It's been a long and a windy road that brought us to this day of celebration and joy. But graduates, you made it with the support of friends and family gathered here to cheer you on. And no one has to remind them to turn on that damn unmute button to do it. So let us begin with the national anthem, which will be led by members of the Georgetown University Concert Choir and Chamber Singers under the direction of Professor Frederick Binkholder. I'd ask you all to please stand.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose rough stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
Please continue standing. The invocation will be offered by Lisa Directo Davis, the director of the John Main Center for Meditation and Interreligious Dialogue.
The spiritual exercises, a compilation of prayers and meditations of St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, ends by saying that if we are truly grateful for all we have been given, then the most natural response is to give back. As I look out on you, dear graduates of the class of 2022, you are no doubt prepared to give back. So please join me with prayers of gratitude and for continued inspiration to serve. Let us pray. Good and loving God, we come before you today full of thanks and praise. Thank you for the gift of this glorious occasion, celebrating our graduates of the class of 2022. Thank you for all that has brought them here to this day, for their perseverance and faith, for their dedication, for their deans, professors, and mentors, and for the love and support of their family and friends. Thank you for this uniquely Jesuit education, deeply rooted in faith that does justice, intercultural and interfaith understanding, and a call to serve the common good. Thank you for the School of Foreign Service with its abiding commitment to preparing students for lives of international service. Please bless this school's dean, faculty, administrators, graduates, and alumni with wisdom and fortitude as they continue to foster stability and peace throughout the world. As we begin our ceremony, keep our hearts and minds open to your Spirit, among us and throughout us, and grateful for the sacredness of this moment. With hearts full of gratitude for the gifts we have received, may we always be inspired to serve as women and men for others. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Please be seated. Dr. Robert Groves, the University Provost, will deliver the official welcome.
Thank you, Dean Hellman. It is my pleasure to see all of you, our graduates and guests, at this commencement ceremony for the Edmund A. Walsh School of Foreign Service. As Joel has mentioned, after too many years of virtual ceremonies to acknowledge the achievements of our students, we are here together in person with all the features of this ritual that we call commencement. All of us over the past few years have experienced large changes in our day-to-day lives, disruptions of our routines, but we have survived. And we gather together in a ceremony hundreds of years old to honor our graduates who, despite unusual challenges, have endured and succeeded in their goals. We are here together to salute and honor one of the most resilient set of graduates in Georgetown history. I want to welcome those who've come from afar, especially those for whom this is the very first time you've been on this Hilltop campus, which for over 229 years has aspired to shape and nurture the next generation in service to the world. And I want you, the families, to know that it is an honor for us to be here and to see before me you, the friends and family of graduates, and you, our students, and to have behind me our faculty colleagues, all of us together in the same place, together representing the totality of our educational community. Seeing us together underscores for us the magnitude of responsibility entrusted to us when students come to study and learn here. We at Georgetown strive daily to be worthy of that trust. Indeed, while the students and the faculty create the core of the universities, families and diverse university staff are key in empowering the first two to work together. We, as you, are beaming with pride today because we have the satisfaction to know we've been a part of the accomplishments of the graduates seated below. I hope this ceremony is everything you've long anticipated. May it be a fitting tribute to the intense years of study of these students in front of us and the launching of a new, exciting phase of their lives. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Provost Groves. Our founder, Most Reverend John Carroll, the first Archbishop of Baltimore and the first Catholic bishop in the United States, took legal possession of land on our hilltop in 1789, and we mark that as our founding date. Our first student, the future North Carolina Congressman William Gaston, arrived in 1791, and our first bachelor degrees were not awarded until 1817. It was in 1815 that, with enrollments passing the 100 mark, our president, Father John Grassi of the Society of Jesus, asked then Congressman Gaston to present a petition for a federal charter, a document that still today sanctions the academic business we do here. It is our custom to initiate academic ceremonies with a reading of that charter. And to discharge that office, I'm very pleased to introduce Ms. Marie Matson, Secretary of the University.
An act concerning the College of Georgetown in the District of Columbia. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that it shall and may be lawful for such persons as now are or from time to time may be the president and directors of the College of Georgetown within the District of Columbia to admit any of the students belonging to said college or other persons meriting academical honors to any degree in the faculties, arts, sciences, and liberal professions to which persons are usually admitted in other colleges and universities of the United States, and to issue in an appropriate form the diplomas or certificates which may be requisite to testify to the admission of such degree. Signed, Langdon Chivas, Speaker of the House of Representatives, John Gaillard, President Pro Tempore of the Senate. Approved March 1st, 1815, James Madison, President of the United States.
Thank you, Marie. The last time our school gathered together for an in-person commencement, we celebrated the centennial anniversary of this school. Our commencement speaker then was a path-breaking Secretary of State and beloved SFS professor, Madeleine Albright, who would have marked her 40th year teaching at Georgetown. In her life story and through her life's work, Secretary Albright embodied the values that our school was created to instill. As President Biden said at our memorial service, in the 20th and 21st centuries, freedom had no greater champion than Madeleine Albright. She inspired generations of SFS students not only to understand the world, but to change the world. And she did it all with the grace, elegance, diplomacy, and a wit sharp enough to disarm even the most menacing dictators. The world has lost a role model of a consummate diplomat, and we at SFS have lost a pillar of our community. We will miss her. We are so very pleased and honored that the first in-person commencement speaker to launch the next century of our school is another U.S. Secretary of State, whose leadership has never been so critical at this historic moment of change in the global order. Let me now welcome Ambassador Barbara Bodine, Director of our Institute for the Study of Diplomacy, to introduce a man whose dedicated service to the world we honor as our commencement speaker today, the 71st U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken.
Antony John Blinken is a public servant in the finest Jesuit and Georgetown University tradition of service to others, to his fellow citizens, and to the citizens of the world. In a world plagued by instability, by poverty, by violence, and by threats to the Earth's very existence, Secretary Blinken has dedicated his life's work to the search for peace, prosperity, human dignity, and a healing of divisions. Secretary Blinken understands personally that unless we are all secure in our person and in our future, none are. And Secretary Blinken understands that the tradition of public service, the foundation of this university, and the aspirations of our students is a sacred duty, a payment we owe to the nation that has given us extraordinary opportunities over the generations. Today we honor the man, the values he embodies, and the work he has done and continues to do to make manifest those values. Secretary Blinken's family story is the story of this country. It is the story of those who must leave their homes, their families, and their histories, and must seek new lives elsewhere. He does not forget this story. He lives its lessons to secure these values and these opportunities for the many, not the few. We face challenges, perhaps unprecedented in scale and complexity. A changing climate that threatens to upend the livelihoods, the lives of billions of people. Of threats to our health that respect neither border nor ideology, race nor religion. Of new forms of warfare that weaponize not only missiles and bullets, but the truth. And technologies that can raise up people or destroy the fabric of communities. And of leaders bent more toward raw power and personal greed than the welfare of their people. Daunting challenges that must be confronted directly, wisely, with conviction and courage, and humility. Secretary Blinken's writ is to confront those challenges with pragmatic strength and with the recognition that he, that we, that all of us must deal with the world not as it was, nor as we would wish it to be, but as it is. Secretary Blinken has dedicated himself not solely to rebuilding, but to transforming the structures and the institutions through which those who work to advance a world order that is better than we inherited and one that we wish to bequeath can be the most effective. As he has said, diplomacy is back at the center of our foreign policy. He understands that meritocracy is not at odds with diversity. Diversity is the epitome of a meritocracy. He understands that our diplomacy, our diplomats, by right, must reflect who we are if we are to bring our very best to the table. He understands that this troubled world needs ideas, innovation, and a value on thought entrepreneurship led by women and men who embrace change, and a leadership that allows and encourages that to happen. And finally, Secretary Blinken understands, as did his great predecessors serving many presidents across history, that our true strength is in our example, and our core tool is diplomacy and a willingness to lead with others, to be members in good standing in an international community of people. If we are to collectively confront the threats that have no masters and masters who have no conscience. In serving the American people over the course of a lifetime, he serves those who share a vision of a better world of security, prosperity, and values, of a rules-based order rather than a jungle of ambition. Antony Blinken has worked across time and around the world. He has worked in Congress and the executive branch, and even made a visit to Sesame Street, all to advance our interests and our fundamental values. As described by former President Obama, Secretary Blinken has displayed extraordinary integrity, judgment, and inclusiveness as he implemented U.S. foreign policy priorities. In recognition of his commitment to service above self and of his tireless work on behalf of our national goals and the needs of the world, Georgetown is proud to confer upon Secretary of State Antony John Blinken the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Thank you.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I officially confer upon Secretary Antony Blinken the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. And it's now my pleasure to present Dr. Antony Blinken, who will offer the commencement address.
Hello, Georgetown. It is. Thank you, Ambassador Bodine, for a truly incredible and overly generous introduction. I don't know if it would be possible to live up to anything near what you said, but I'm grateful for your remarks and grateful as well for your remarkable service to this country over so many years. President DeGioia, Dean Hellman, Provost Groves, distinguished faculty and staff, proud parents and grandparents, supportive and rival siblings, devoted aunts, uncles, friends, and most of all, members of the Georgetown School of Foreign Service class of 2022. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the honor of being part of this outstanding institution's commencement celebration. Now, I'm not a Georgetown alum, but I am the son-in-law of two of them, Tony and Donna Ryan. Standing up here today in front of Healy Hall probably earned me more points with them than the current job that I hold. It's probably also true of my former boss, President Clinton, class of '68. So thank you, Georgetown. The only difference, Mr. President, is that, like you, They actually earned their honors. So I want to start by kicking the elephant out of the room. Yes, NYU got Taylor Swift as their commencement speaker. Now, my staff did not let me bring my guitar up here to dedicate a performance of "We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together" to President Putin. They said it would be undiplomatic and also cringe. Also, since when is cringe an adjective? In any case, the guitar or not, I am thrilled to be here. This is a special day for many reasons. And maybe the most exhilarating is that this is indeed the first in-person commencement since 2019. So it's just wonderful to be in the same place with all of you. And I really want to commend these graduates for persevering through lockdowns, Zoom classes, quarantining, and for some of you, through loss, including a beloved classmate. I know this has not been an easy road, but you have traveled it together. And you've done it while practicing the core principle of cura personalis, of taking care of yourselves and taking care of one another. So today, I hope you'll take a moment to savor the fact that you have done something extraordinary. You completed a world-class education at one of the finest schools for international affairs on the entire planet. Now, this accomplishment is yours, but it also belongs to everyone who loved and supported you along the way. None of us achieves everything on our own. So before we go any further, can we please have a huge round of applause to all the family and friends who helped make today possible. There's someone else who's already been mentioned that I want to mention as well. Someone that we dearly wish was here with us today, and who would be cheering for this class with all her might, and that is the great Madeleine Albright. Madeleine was a strong Georgetown partisan. This was her cherished home for decades. And, as has been noted, in a little twist of history, she was the speaker for the last in-person SFS commencement 3 years ago. And I have to tell you, it feels a little bit like she has passed a torch to me today, and not for the first time. After all, I sit at her desk every day. So, on the occasion of the class of 2022's commencement, I thought what I'd do is talk a little bit about her, and about two other Secretaries of State we said goodbye to since last year, Colin Powell and George Shultz. Now, they were three very different people, different backgrounds, different political philosophies, different styles of leadership. And the times during which they were secretary were different too. But they devoted their lives to service. They left their mark. And their stories hold lessons for each and every one of us, especially for you, the graduates of this school. Now, let's face it, if anyone is going to appreciate Secretary of State stories, it's someone with the words foreign service on their diploma. I know that every young person graduating today is immediately inundated with advice, and it can probably feel impossible to sort through it all. So let me say this, don't think of this as advice. Just a few stories from a few people who led remarkable lives, and who once were sitting right where you're sitting, deeply interested in the world, wondering how they would fit in. And I know they wouldn't mind if, just for today, we drop the honorifics. So if it's all right for today, they're not secretaries, they're Madeline, they're Colin, they're George. The first lesson is about remembering where you came from. Colin drilled this into his 3 kids as they grew up. He was the son of Jamaican immigrants in the South Bronx. His block, Kelly Street, had all kinds of people on it. West Indians, African Americans, Puerto Ricans, and Jews like the Klein family, who lived downstairs from the Powells. They had the only television in the building, and they would invite the entire neighborhood, all the kids over, to watch it on Tuesday nights. Colin later said that his neighborhood stuck with him as a model for America at its best, a place where diversity made people's lives richer, more vibrant, and where people looked out for one another, even when they looked different. Colin brought that spirit to every team that he built. That's why he worked so hard, as he used to say, to make the State Department look more like America. And it's why he'd be so proud of the outsized cohorts of Pickering, Wrangell, and Payne Fellows here at the School of Foreign Service, including 33 current fellows and 37 more starting next year. Madeline came to the United States at age 11 as a refugee. Her family had been driven from their home in Czechoslovakia twice, first by the Nazis, then by the communists. She already had experienced the horrors of war. She hid in shelters in London as bombs dropped from the sky. She never forgot why it mattered for countries to stand up to tyrants and open their arms to the displaced. That was true whether she was speaking at the United Nations Security Council, swearing in a new group of American citizens, or meeting with refugees uprooted by war. She couldn't help but put herself in the shoes of people fleeing repression because she had once walked in those shoes. George kept a giant globe in his office as secretary. Before any new ambassador left for their post, he would administer one last test. "Show me your country on the globe," he'd say. So they'd spin the globe and they'd look for Argentina or Nigeria or Indonesia, wherever they were going. And George would gently take their finger and move it and put it on the United States. "This is your country," he would say. It was his way of reminding America's diplomats that no matter how far they traveled, the people that they served were still here. Of course, if the members of this class stood before that globe, you'd point at dozens of different countries, some of which were not even on the map when George was secretary. But here's the point. No matter where you go or what cause you serve, try to hold on to what shaped you. Use those first coordinates, the places and people that make up your map of the modern world. And try to remember this for other people. It's worth putting some work into learning where other people come from, especially people whose map is vastly different from yours. That is the foundation of empathy, and it's handy no matter where you go. The second lesson is about always being a student. Madeline started teaching here 40 years ago. So I tracked down the most recent syllabus for her course, America's National Security Toolbox. Here's how it starts. "I'm looking forward to both teaching and learning from you. Together, we'll do our best to make sense of what's happening in the world." Madeline saw every student who passed through SFS as someone that she could learn from. She'd meet individually with every student that she came across during her time here. She quoted students in her books. In her interviews, she often said things like, "I have a student who," or "my students tell me." And as her daughters shared at her memorial service, Madeline brought a stack of your papers with her to the hospital. She was still learning from you right till the very end. Likewise, George always looked to engage people at every level. So some of you may know we have a system at the State Department that produces policy memos. Some of you are familiar with it, indeed. A junior staffer would write a draft. It works its way up through the hierarchy until eventually a senior official signs off on it. When George had a question about a memo, he didn't ask the senior person. He called the person who drafted it. He'd asked them to swing by his office. Many had never been in a room with the Secretary of State. Now they were debating policy with one, because George knew that these desk officers had information that no one else did. And as secretary, Colin would sneak away from his security detail to talk to people he probably wouldn't otherwise meet. One day, he went down to the State Department garage. Now, those of you who know the garage know that it's too small for all the cars to fit. So every morning, the parking attendants line the cars up in very, very tight rows. When they saw Colin walking up, they thought he was lost. But he'd come to talk. He asked them where they were from. How did they like the job? And they told him things that only they could know, like how they decided which car got out first at the end of the day. If the person actually knew their names and treated them like human beings, they got out first. If they acted like the attendants were invisible, they were last. Decency ruled. Learning from others is a way of showing respect. It tells people that you see them, that you value them. As anyone who knew Colin, Madeline, or George can tell you, they spent their whole lives in learning mode. This openness, this curiosity meant that they were always stumbling across new ideas and new ways of seeing things. And it meant life never stopped being interesting. The third lesson is about getting lost, and not just in the ICC here on campus. It's incredibly tempting to see the lives of the super accomplished as somehow following a straight line that led all the way to the top. But in real life, it rarely goes that way. Colin's parents didn't go to college, so they pinned very high expectations on him. His mom decided that he should study engineering, so he signed up for it. But he just couldn't get through mechanical drawing. He switched to geology. A family meeting was called. His parents made clear their disappointment. He wasn't making friends at school either, and back home on Kelly Street, his neighbors were calling him college kid, and not always in a nice way. He felt like he didn't quite fit in anywhere. Madeline got married 3 days after graduating from Wellesley. By age 24, she was mom to twins. One after another, she pushed on doors only to find them shut. When she and her husband at the time, who was a journalist, had dinner with the editor of his newspaper, Madeline said that she too wanted to be a reporter. The editor immediately shot her down. "You wouldn't want to compete with your husband," he said. Madeline was silent. Maybe that's why she later urged so many women to learn to interrupt. Years after, she said, all of a sudden, these things that I thought I was going to be able to do, I couldn't do. George was halfway through his senior year at Princeton, on a date at a football game, when word spread that Japan had attacked Pearl Harbor. Soon after, he drove with a friend to New York City to sign up for the Royal Canadian Air Force. That was the quickest path at the time to actually get into action. Both of them failed the eye test. Dejected, they went out for drinks and learned one of life's most painful lessons. Beware of bars with tattoo parlors in the back. George and his friend emerged with matching tattoos of the proud old Princeton tiger on their tails. So, if you've had a big setback in your time at SFS and did not tattoo Jack the Bulldog on your rear, consider yourself a step ahead of George. The point is this. We assume that giants like them always had it figured out. But they went through times when they felt profoundly lost. Everybody does. If you have no idea what's next for you, even though that's probably what everyone is asking you today, Don't be scared. That's okay. That's the way it is. And don't get knocked off your stride by all the Instagram and LinkedIn posts by peers celebrating their lives. It doesn't mean they've got it all figured out either. Don't compare their outsides to your insides. That also goes for the times when people are not at their best selves with you. As Colin used to tell his team, we always need to treat people with a little more respect than they deserve because we don't know what's going on in their lives. A lot of times, it's got nothing to do with you. Just keep going. Not long after switching to geology, Colin kept crossing paths with a bunch of guys from the ROTC. He figured he'd give it a try. Putting on the uniform, he found that it fit. Madeline went back to school to get her PhD, which is how she met a brilliant academic whose family, like hers, had fled the Nazis, Zbigniew Brzezinski. When he became National Security Advisor, he hired Madeline. George and his tiger returned to Princeton, finished their senior year, and enlisted in the Marines, the start of what turned into a lifetime of service to the United States. They found their way. You will too. The final lesson is about sticking with it for the long haul. In Madeline's 2019 commencement speech, she drew parallels between 2019 and 1919 and warned of the rising tides of authoritarianism, nationalism, isolationism. She made the case, as she did so often, for why service, your service, was crucial to meeting the challenges that we face. She said, and I quote, "You must remember that there is not a page of this institution's 100-year history of which we're proud that was authored by a chronic complainer. We are doers. We have a responsibility not to be prisoners of history, but to shape it." There's not really any doubt in my mind that all of you will find a way to serve if that's what you choose to do. That's why you're here. That's who you are. But to make a real dent, you've got to stick with it. Progress takes a long time. You can feel like you're getting nowhere. Don't give up. That's the story of George, Madeline, and Colin. Each served in many ways over their lifetimes, as teachers and soldiers, as diplomats and advocates. Some of these hats fit better than others, but they kept at it. Despite losses, despite setbacks, even seeing the progress they worked so hard to achieve get rolled back. They endured because they learned to take the long view, to accept that every cause worth fighting for would actually outlive them, to aim for the big wins, but also to savor the small ones. Jakub Halówka grew up in a tiny town in the Czech Republic. In 2007, when he was a junior in high school, he came across Madeline's memoir in the local library. He was so moved by the story, he sent her a note in Czech telling her that she'd inspired him to pursue a career in international relations. He didn't expect to hear back. Then he got a reply from Madeline saying he was making a wise choice, telling him to keep at it. 6 years later, Jakub was sitting in her seminar as a grad student here at SFS. Today, he's a public policy professor at USC, where he tries to emulate Madeline every single day. I work with people like Jakub every day at the State Department, people whose trajectory Madeline helped to shape. Susie George, my chief of staff, got her first job in government when Madeline was the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and spent several decades by her side. Ned Price, the spokesperson of the State Department, described seeing Madeline walking down Prospect Street when he was a freshman here at SFS, feeling like he just spotted Madonna. Sarah McCool, who manages my team's schedule, also wrote a letter to Madeline when she was in high school, and Madeline answered her, inviting Sarah to come meet with her before a speech that she was giving. Each of these individuals, and they're here today, is part of Madeline's legacy, and our country is so much better for it. We often measure the impact of public servants, especially in international affairs, with a big ruler. The rise and fall of great powers, conflicts and alliances. But one of the things that made Madeline, Colin, and George great was that they always measured their progress in the steps of the people around them. When Colin was secretary, George sent him a letter that said, and I quote, "I'm always amazed at the way people presume leaders in government focus almost exclusively on policy problems and on their own ups and downs. But leadership is about the people under your charge. A real leader is conscious of what he or she leaves behind." That's the thing about this kind of work. It will always outlast us. So what we leave behind matters. We need others to pick up where we left off. When I look out at all of you today, I see hundreds of people ready to carry the baton for another leg, picking up where George, Madeline, and Colin, and so many others left off. And so graduates, as you leave the school of service for a life of service, I hope that you'll see that everything you need to serve with purpose, is right here. Let the loved ones celebrating you today help remind you always of where you came from. Let your professors and fellow graduates and all that you learned in this extraordinary place remind you of the joy of forever being a student. Know that you will get lost, and that the losses and setbacks may well outnumber the wins. And as you stick with it, you'll find that even the smallest steps forward will do more than sustain you. They will fulfill you. They will lift you up. They'll lift up others. They will help shape this world for the better. So, class of 2022, we welcome you with open arms to the ranks of the doers, and we can't wait to see all that you will get done. Thank you.
Thank you for those remarks, Dr. Blinken. So we will now move to the presentation of candidates for the master's degrees. Let me say first and foremost, I know it's hot. You know it's hot. And as we celebrate each individual here today, remember that we also celebrate our entire community. So as you walk across the stage, I'd urge you to go back to your seats, remain seated for the remainder of the presentations of the degree, and we come back together as a community to celebrate this commencement. So to start, it's my pleasure to invite to the podium Dean Alexander Sens of the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences.
Will the candidates for master's degrees please rise? President DeGioia, as Dean of the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Science, and Master of Global Human Development. Representatives of each program will call the names of the candidates.
Degree candidates, please be seated. At the direction of the ushers, the degree candidates will come forward by rows to receive their diploma translations from Dean Hellman, and then will be hooded. The members of the graduating class will be called in alphabetical order by degrees and programs after the graduate marshal, Hiyu Millie Kim. Now, please hold your applause. Please hold your applause until degree candidates from all 8 master's programs have been recognized.
Mu'tasam Abu Zaid. Huda Al-Haddad. Nuran Al-Hamdan. Douglas O. Christensen. Anthony Constantine. William Owen Cox. Zachary Culbertson. David B. Ernier. Anna Elise Ferguson. Madison Fisher. Madeline G. Hall. Catherine Haseman. Aisha Jitan. Ramzi Khalaf. Juan G. Ramirez. Christine Conacher Jacobson. Nicole Robinson. Akram Safa. Aiden McKillian Salamone. Mary Kathleen Smith. Chase G. Swinnerton. Jenna Zabara.
For the Masters in Asian Studies, Spencer Charles Burning. Samuel T. Bresnick. Axel Patrick Catelier. Nathaniel Chung. Acacia Cook. Okay. Ashley Fung. Hannah Rose Goda. Chuyen Huang. Eleanor Shiori Hughes. Heidi Kong. Do-young Kim. Zhong Li. R.M. Andreka A. Natalagawa. Alok A. Ranpise. Pratishta Rijal. Daniel H. Schoolenberg. Jacob Stern. Hanlei Tan. Rao. Yue Tong Zheng.
Candidates for the Master of Arts in Eurasian, Russian, and East European Studies. Evaristo Luis Capala. Tina Dolbaya. Catherine Flaherty. Anna Jansen. Jessica Meyerson. Panling. Yanling Pan. Yanling Pan. Haifeng Chill. Michael Robinson. Keegan Conrad Scott.
For the Master of Art in German and European Studies, Carla Daniela Adams.
Yeah.
Angie Francesca Germans Monroy. Michaela Antonia DeVito.
Yeah.
Colleen Susan Doherty. Emma K. Dreyer.
Yeah, Emma.
Mitchell Neil Ferris. Bianca M. Hurlery. Luca Ignatz. Juliet Kelso. Nicholas J. Locker. Catherine Virginia Rabus. Iris A. Thatcher. Jeffrey M. Walter.
Candidates for the Masters of Arts in Latin American Studies. Are we ready? Luke Allen. Elliot Anderson. Selva Titania Astudillo Aguilar. Good to see you. Courtney Brantley. Sean Buss. And Cecilia Byrne. Leticia Valentina Chacón. María de Lourdes Despradel Aquino. Keanu Emami. Emilia Espinosa. José Antonio Flores. Jordan Teresa Lloyd. Felipe Lobo Courage. He's got a fan club here. Chelsea Annette Miners. Kelvin Alexi Mejia Bonilla. Got it. Susana Jane Morrow Meyer. Lydia Pearl Milhon. Bradley J. Palmer Lorenco. Brian A. Ricardi. Joseph C. Rojas. Génesis Cristal Torres Alcántara. Tamsin Sandstra. Silvia del Carmen Celaya Jovel. Yuatong Zhao.
For the Master of Arts in Security Studies, Jonathan Edwards Absher. Alexander Alba. Olivia R. Albrighton Van Way. Michael Amatos. Ali Amurgasemi. Isabella E. Artaza. Elizabeth Michelle Bayer. Riley J. Bailey. Orchi Banjari. Hannah Faye Barton. Alice J. Bechtold. Stephen Gregory Belcher. Olivia Berardi. Bianca Berman. Liliana Basosa Carpio. Paige Akiko Bowman. Brian B. Britt. Connor Farragut Bush. Elizabeth Boyvid. Jonathan A. Bussell. B. Edward Campbell. Aaron D. Chang. Benjamin Contreras. Jared Cooper. Rebecca Copeland. Angelina Rose D'Ambrosio. Christian A. Delory. Cara M. Dienst. Caroline Equin Donnell. Andrew Doty. Brian T. Dunn. Mark Dwyer. Victoria Alice Edwards. Carson Elmgren. Luke Graven Encarnation. Jason D. Fairchild. Ryan Fedashik. Miranda Darlene Joy Felton. Nicolo Andre Ferretti. Ana Cristina Barosca Hernandez. Julian D. Fleischman. Alexander Olivier Florescu. Marshall Foster. Emma Fruckman. Kristen Diamond Fudge. Justin Gainey. Madison Galdi. Samuel Gang. Ashton Jennifer Gillette. Matthew D. Gilbert. Tabitha Page Gillespie.
April L. Gillis. Jake Vincent DePaul Gilstrap. Luis Gonzalez. Claire Frances Greya. Elizabeth Guillot. Patrick Ross Gustafson. John Hardy. Christopher Harrington. Kirsten Harris. Connor G. Hirsch. Dima S. Homsey. Bradley Honigberg. James Abraham Tarcher Hood. John Humphreys. Rosemary Harilla. Emma Jouen. Teresa D. Kennedy. Makara Konapanapai. Mevish Tariq Khan. Jejun Kim. Christina Kinlan. Adam S. Klein. Spencer Charles Knoll. Ramzik Ohanes Kozakian. Rachel Danielle Kreisman. Yeah, girl. Chris Lotusker. Arthi Lukshmi Nurayanan. Christopher Anthony Lay. Meredith Leal. June Lee. April Leonard. Jalen Lespierre. Christina M. Longo. Frederick H. Ludke. Francesca Helen Maestas. Andrew Malalu. Eli Noah Maneker. Sira Bel Mancuso. Demetrios Maranides. Stephen Maurer. Jessica Reynolds McDowell. Sophia Marie Vallejo McGettigan. Rebecca A. McKiernan. Petra M. Madonat. Nader B. Mayer. Kalish J. Menon. Melina Edna Michael. Lisa Marie Michelini. Grace Marie Miller. Kyle Augustus Miller. Octavian Miller. Amanda L. Monahan. Charlotte Mooney. Stephen Edward Morrison, Jr. Madison James Nowlin. Cheyenne Ong. Shiraz Otani. Samantha Pembroke. Anne Elizabeth Pantalari. Sonam Penzo. James Pluniak. Aaron Rawls. Alexandra R. Regev. Christopher Rice. Noah Ringler. Alexander J. Rubin. Stephen Sachs. Samuel Stephen Schiffer. Rathita Pranav Shah. Omar Kasim Sharif. Amiti Sharma. Kelly Shaw. Justin Sherman. Teresa Ann Shoemaker. Jamie Seymour. Donald Edward Small. Alexandra Jenny Smith. Hannah Smith. Nina Fuller Smith. Tony Smith. Helena Stein. Alexander Richard Stickney. Lindsay Struthers. Mariah Elizabeth Sutton. Wakano Takeuchi. Jen Yang Tang. Luke Toma. Stacy Ann Thompson. Abigail Turner. Robert A. Vadney. Olivia M. Vandenborn. Cooper William Vardy. Diego A. Velasquez Salou. Vikram Venkatram. Andre J. Watkins Clark. Zach Watson. Aviva Zoe Weinstein. Tara Weinstein. William Mearns West II. Benjamin L. Westman. Casey Otis Weatherby. John V. White. Abigail Wilt. Gregory Donovan Wisher. Andrea Witherspoon. Caleb Hohin Yip.
And now, the Masters of Science in Foreign Service. Anita Abbey. Abdullah Mashoud Ahmad. Haytham Al Mullah. Hannah Anderson. Wilson C. Beaver. Reed Buckley Benoit. Kolther Bahanu. Johan Bergman. Vangiwe Bongwe. Francina Bass. Honore Cole. Devin Colmer. Clara Sophia Kramer. Lauren Dacus. Casey Brennan Donahue. Chelsea Vanessa Estevez. Sophia Solomea Varian. Julian W. Fox. Miriam Ida Elin Friedman. Paul Leandro Friedman. Ryan Fujimoto. Rachel Furlow. Camden Geiger. Mahmoud S. Ghanem. Anya E. Gorodentsev. Salia Gozel. Kayla Alexandra Hagen. Darren Hall. Kaya Eleanor Friedman Haney. Nagisa Heyodu. Altine Zanusiva. Kelly Huntley Kern. Anishka A. Kolsla. Nathan Kumar. Maxwell D. Kushner. Margaret J. LaPrey. Jacob M. Lensing Sharp. Casey Johnston Ling. Montserrat Ligoreta Luna. Cecilia Mabilis Esteves. Scott D. Maxfield. Varsha Manon.
Betania H. Michael. Kareem Hassan Mohayedun. Victoria A. Moscoso. Ariana Lily Nickmanish. Kevin P. O'Neill. Andrew D. Olson. Danielle Oruela. Davis Patrick Owens. Nicholas A. Pava. Elizabeth Regine Pantaleon. Tylene Beatrix Piggott. Caitlin N. Radick. Aaron N. Ratz. Alessandro Recchia. Devin Marcus Jonelle Richardson. Tess Elizabeth Rosenberg. Sophie Rosenzweig. Catherine Brady Ross. Gia Rebecca Rowley. Pau Ruiz Guiche. Tomoko Sueda. Reed Snyder. Nayal B. Schweitzer Dolan. Rodrigo Serlonga Mejia. Jae Sung Shim. Adam L. Silo. Nicholas Ellis Smith. Kaylin A. Stuckey. Mary Rayner Sturgis. Catherine Sullivan. George Summers. Daniel James Salazar. Otto Hastrup Svensson. Marta Sidoriak. Julia A. Talladay. Tomoki Tanaka. Chloe L. Barbarik. Samantha Burke Wolfson. He-Min Yang. Rui Chi Zheng. Christina Zeitel.
And now, the Master of Global Human Development. Farida Abdul Karim. Temediri Emiola Alesh. Jasmine Ashby. John Paul Dorette. Madeline Eldridge. Palumi Fadari. Elena Faust. Margie Goltz. Emily Merb Brown. Jordan Iger. Bradley Kratzer. Putra Kurniawan Kusdarman. Maxwell Lieblich. Emily Crane Lynn. Katrina A. Mahoney. Matthew Martin. Margaret McClure. Christopher Metzger. Taylor Victoria Miller. Olivia Nguyen. Clara O'Hakim. Tiffany King. Sean Rolfe. Renard Salaita. Gabriel Shachar Hendon. Chloe Siegel. Stephen Spanos. Natsumi Taniyama. Shireen Vetri. Haninda Mehta Vidyasti. Jeffrey Woodham. Samar Yusuf. Camila Zakirova. Edward Zhang.
I never punched so many people in my life. We will now have the presentation for candidates for the bachelor's degree. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Foreign Service please rise? President DeGioia, I have the honor and privilege to present to you the following candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Foreign Service. Dr. Elizabeth Grimm, Associate Professor of Teaching and Director of Teaching for the Security Studies Program, will call the names of the candidates.
Degree candidates, please be seated. At the direction of the ushers, the degree candidates will come forward by rows to receive their diploma translations from Dean Hellman, and then they will be hooded. The first people to call onto stage are the 2022 class marshals, Ryan Remmel and Eamon Rogan, and then the rest of the graduating class will be called in alphabetical order. Please hold your applause until everyone has been recognized. Thank you so much. Ryan Remmel. Eamon P. Rogan. Arash Abbas. Malak Abasood. Satya Adabala. Deborah D. Alexander. Robert Almeida. Sajjad Hussein Alvi. Talon N. Tarkar. Juliana Albuquerque. Leo John Arnett. Advait Arun. Mariana Victoria Asland. Colette Hyler Astier. Oscar Avila. Rael Emide Baird. Rimpal K. Bajwa. Minakshi M. Balan. Yasmin Babes. Caitlin M. Barr. Christopher Bass. Woo! James Richard Benner. Angelique Rose Besnard. Elizabeth G. Buter. Murad A. Bhatti. Nishant Bhomik. Lindsay Fitzgerald Bing. Thank you. Sarah Suchdev Blomquist. Sydney Morgan Bohr. Elsa Parker Bollmeyer. Can I say James Bond? Bond. James Bond. I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry. Monica Borges Estrada. Clemente Borgoni. Emma Rose Bradley. Congrats. Ashley Bradway. Connor Brandy. Connor Michael Brennan. Daniel I. Breslow. Anjali Y. Brito. Michael George Brodo. Zoe Brown. Emily Bruner. Sarah Ruth Bryant. Wilson Douglas Bullington. Aiden J. Burke. Francesca M. Burke. Zev Lewis Burton. Martina Cardova. Olivia Case. Amanda Linda Castillo. Juan Miguel Catala. Shomik James Chakraborty. Natalie Chowdhury. Karan Pratap Singh Chauhan. Jenny Checkerjen. Nathan Chen. Ariel B. Brian Chu. Excuse me. Theodore Chia. Kiara Rose Chittick. Aaron Chinasathian. Grant Burrows. Victoria Chun Chao Chu. Alice E. Cho. Allison Elizabeth Cho. Becky Choi. Casey Victoria Chong. Amanda Lan Chu. Isaac Daniel Clark. Bridget C. Clifford. Kayla Marie Connolly. Emma Kathleen Cooney. Besart Copa. I got you. Alexander Cordova Serrano. Ryan Benjamin Cusley. Robert Kai Cox. Anya L. Crinion. Anne-Marie Kopp Kucha. Christina Cuervo Rengifo. Claire Nelson Cutler. Alamai N. Denyacho. Henry Dye. Me Nay Daly. Catherine Rose Dallimore. Akari P. Davidson. Matthew Henry Davis. Mariana de Souza. And Naga Dominic de Zoiza. Athena Del Vecchio. Ana Diaz Gessner. Camilo Dipsy. Willa Price Doss. Blythe Tuti Desjardins. Thank you. Maximilian Dunant. Daisy Mary Jude Dunlap. Abigail Eliza Eastman. Georgina S. Eberly. Joseph Allen Edmondson. Kayla Friedland. Rhodia Eid. Jillian Joy Fan. Leah Farhat. Maya Farrell. Amanda Feldman. Alexis Jade Ferguson. Maya C. Fernandez Powell. Lauren Ann Ferrero. John K. Figgy. Julia Catherine Phelan. Jessica Ann Filling. Emily Helen Fisher. Gabrielle Fong. Margaret Kana Foberg. Ryan Thomas Foljam. Emilia Game. Riley Ganzi. Jiyue Alice Gao. Sarah Christine George. Julia Isolde Giganti. Noel Louise Gignoux. Niall Patrick Gillen. Kristen Lewis July. Charles S. Goldman. Alexis Rael Gorfine. Anna Cheng Yong Gorman. Claire Elizabeth Gold. Alec Gosman. Ty S. Greenberg. William Thomas Greer. Shelby Patricia Grish. Emma Grimes. Paul Gunther. Javier Eduardo Guerrero Vicente. Jada Galarius. Gustav Allen Golmert. David A. Gutierrez. Christopher Paul Gyra. Elizabeth Hall. Julia Kathleen Hall. Max Hamid Al-Zubaydi. Caroline Grace Hamilton. Kyle J. Harrison. Finn Patrick Hardy.
Go, Finn!
Samuel James Havard. Caroline Hecht. Alana T. Hendy. Sabrina Hernandez. Luke M. Hexner. Gavin Hickey. Scotia Mary Hilla.
Submit here, submit here.
What? Boyd Patrick Hoosie. Siona K. Hariharan. Anya Campbell Hauko Johnson. Grace Y. Huang. We're good. For you. Tamor Sammy Ittleby. Daniela Ilhan. Jacob Martin Imber. Janan Iranbumi. Natalie Anne Marie Isse. Leah J. Iskander. Sanjana Jitendra Jain. Marta S. Jerabetz. Hong Jian. Amaja Jonari Cruz. Elena Heiji Chu. Teresa Megan Kane. Katie Ming Jung Kane. Sarah Isabel Keichler. Ryan Kelly. Caden Lewis Kessel. Jaden Marie Maychan Kilty. Tatsuki Kikugawa. Hoojun Kim. Julian J. Kim. Sue Kim. Rachel Kirichu.
Yeah, Rachel!
Olivia Abbott Clyer. Joshua M. Klein. Megha Kondapalli. Junho Kong. Ashani Kotige. Jamie Margaret Lance. Madison Lee Larmore. Alvin Lee. Devin Leonard. Narupan Louis Watachai. Am I doing this? M. Campbell Keating. Maxwell Elias Levine. Amy Yunchen Lee. Esther Caroline Lee. Catherine Yuatao Lee. Chanyi Emily Lee. Julia Enid Liebel McLean. Matthias Litiuka. Gotcha. Jack Ray Luis Little. Catherine Panan Liu. Daniel A. Livingston. George Brune Lowenson. Natalia Adana Lopez. Roselle Mary Odine Lavelle Smith. Serena Liu.
Yeah!
Igor Lukanov. Christina Mei-Ling Luke. Michael J. Lundgren. Matthew J. Lupo. Clara Zuron Ma. Rachel Ma. Elliot Harold Mack. Timothy F. McGuire. Devin Malone. Filippo Manzini. Leah Marshall. Isabella Alessandra Martinez Alaman. Brady R. Marzin. Lucia Mastrangelo. Susanna Beatrice Mazer. Harrison Stephen McBride. Emma C. McCaleb. Ray Tecumseh McCormick. Elizabeth Maria McDermott. Megan R. McGuire. Maggie McHale. Malachi T. McLaughlin. Leica Madera Metla. Meredith J. Miller. Michael Miller. Walker Tyson Miller. Sadie Morris. Nicholas H. Mortimer. Shananya M. Muno. Molly D. Murphy. Shuait Nair. Jansen K. Nakai. Myra K. Nemoilik. Alan Omar Navarro. Briseda Neri. Hatram Win. Jiyin Liu. Kai T. Win. Megan D. Win. Haotian Ni. Hannah Lane Nichols. Nicholas Arthur Norton. Tara M. Nouri. Ella Nudell. Ashlyn G. O'Brien. Margot V. Ochoa. Blake Emily Ogle. Oluwatobi M. Oganiyi. Madeline R. O'Hara. Santiago Olea. Eloise Grace Owen. Kamzi Ochuku Tiffany Oyolu. Dominic P. Palumbo. Mahir Purik. Chaylin Park. Gina June Park. Michael V. Pasimio. Luca Powlin. Alana Quinn Pearson. Andrew William Peck. Victoria Borges Pedrero. Martin Peralta. Claudio Salvatore Maximus Begolisi. Sofia Piedrahita. Mattia Elizabeth Polameni. Teresa Curlevia Pawatil. Domenica Pratt. Liam P. Quinn. Paige Francis Rayborn. Preet Rajpal. Abhinav C. Ramaswamy. Gabriela Raphael. Jack Resnick. Juan C. Reyes. Justin Matthew Rich. Caroline Louise Rieger. Walker Lane Roby. Bryce Lighton Robinson. Charlotte E. Rosenblum. Junyao King. Adia Iliani Ross. Andrew Rosanov. Timothy Rudolph Math. Ana Paula Ruiz Cardenas. Lauren Taylor Russell. Lorinda Ruz. Amina Satterell. Morgan Ashley Saylor. Umberto Sajonihi Kumbergo Gota. Martin L. Salamone. Julio Samaron Perla. Anika Sangvi. Lauren Catherine Scarf. Benjamin A. Schatz. Brady M. Scott. Muhammad Hassan Shafiq. Adam Shaham. Maxwell Sharametta. Nicholas K. Scher. Grace Alexandra Shevchenko. Hasini Shamsunder. Paulina Chu Song. Tyler M. Sorensen. Hunter Spillen. Jacob Sporn. Yolanda Spura. Christopher J. Stauffer. Madison Rose Stern. Joseph Stewart. Sophie Christina Elizabeth Stewart. Stefan E.H. Sujansky. Christine Sun. Siddharth Sundaram. Crystal Sung. Gavin Lawrence Sylvia. Ali Jason Taha Brown. Adam P. Taher. Noor Nirvana Tucker. Shirley H. Tang. Zulika Tasneem. Ben Tauber. John Harper Chen Jachi Tomas. Andrew Tobin. Mary Shannon Thompson. Omer Farouk Tunch. Isabella Turilli. Jasia Sahuga Smith. Claire Kilty Turner. Fardusi Udin. Ali Gokhan Unal. Cornelius A. Vandermas. Jacob Harold Vanderswag. Jacqueline Velasquez. Adam P. Veldman. Anaka A. Venkatesh. Nethra Kamala Vishwanathan. Robert A. Vogel. Clay Kazaks Volino. Zachary A. Volpe. Cleary Ruth Waldo. Celia Louise Walsh. Taylor Walsh. Jiae Wong. Tianji Wong. Yiman Wong. Charlie Wang. Jiwen Wong. Martha Ellen Webb. Rachel Weinman. Michael Wheeler. Savannah Catherine Willard. Jarek M. Williams. Hazen D. Williams. Ryan Brewer Williams. Ty Kaimana Williams. Nathaniel T. Winters. Maureen Wolf. Yebin Wan. Catherine Woodard. Wendy Xiaowenxia. Connie Tian Xiao. Michael Xiao. Lauren Li Xiu. Michael Xu. Beza Nor Yazucha. Tina T. Yin. Shoki Yoda. Seth C. Young. Sophia Christine Ifantidis. George H. Jai. Sophia W. Zhang. Ashley Zhao. Reina Zhou. Catherine J. Zhao. And Kirk Michael Zeezer.
Yep. Big class. This one sets records every year. Yeah, my goodness. What's the longest ceremony you've had so far? Business. Oh, really? 1150. We've never had that many walk courses in any school. I don't know. Yeah. How's this table? I think we get the last ones. Okay. Will all the graduate and undergraduate degree candidates please rise? President DeGioia, these students have been duly examined and recommended by the faculty and approved by the board of directors. I therefore ask you that you bestow on them the degrees in course.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I officially confer upon these candidates the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Science, Master of Global Human Development, and Bachelor of Science in Foreign Service. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Members of the class of 2022, congratulations. You've worked hard. You richly deserve the honor you just received. At SFS, as you've heard today, that honor comes with an obligation. For this school was created for a purpose, a mission, to build the foundation of peace and prosperity around the world. You're entering the next stage of your life at a moment of genuine peril around the world. Great powers are again locked in conflict. An unprovoked, horrifically brutal invasion of a sovereign nation in Europe has brought unspeakable suffering to millions of innocent people. Continued conflicts must not be forgotten across the Middle East and Africa, nor the women and children whose hopes and dreams are being undermined in Taliban-ruled Afghanistan. The very shape of the post-Cold War order that brought the greatest era of peace and global poverty reduction in our history is being reconfigured before our eyes. But when I look over this crowd and see the hundreds of graduates who came here to this School of International Affairs, inspired by our mission to serve the world, I see hope. I see the makings of a new greatest generation, which in the face of tremendous sacrifice has itself been transformed. I see the future leaders armed with the knowledge of the past, but infused by a spirit of innovation to solve our most complex and pressing global challenges. Today, you join a legacy of a century of SFS graduates around the world who have shaped the global order. And now you have the responsibility to lead the next era of change. All of us at SFS are confident that you are up to the challenge. But none of you has managed to get to this place on your own. You've benefited from the knowledge and wisdom of your professors, and you've been supported by family and friends. Now it's time, all graduates, please rise. Please turn around or to the sides where your family and friends are. Now, you applaud the people who helped you get here today. Please be seated, and I'll ask President DeGioia to offer some closing reflections.
Well, thank you very much, Dean Hellman. And we're deeply grateful to you for your leadership as Dean of our School of Foreign Service. And on behalf of our community, I wish to express our gratitude to our commencement speaker this evening, the Honorable Anthony Blinken, for sharing his reflections and insights with us. To our graduates, to our families, to each member of our community here this evening, we're honored to be able to celebrate together this very special occasion. It is a great honor to be a part of this evening's celebration. And to the colleagues, friends, mentors, families, all of the loved ones who join us, we're deeply grateful to each of you for your support of these graduates. Thank you also to the extraordinary faculty who are here this evening for your deep care and commitment to teaching and mentorship, to research and scholarship, to supporting a vibrant and diverse community. And to our staff, thank you for your many contributions every day that have made this day possible. And finally, to our graduates, the class of 2022, today is your day. Congratulations, all the hard work, your service, your achievements, the challenges you have overcome, everything that you have done at Georgetown has brought you to this moment. So much has been asked of you over these few years. This moment has required the very best in each one of us and the very best of all of us. And your class will be remembered for the responsibility that you accepted for one another and for all those around you, those across our communities. Thank you. You honored this responsibility animated by the deepest values that shape your lives, the deepest values that shape our shared membership in this community. You brought out the best in one another. And in the tradition that animates our Georgetown community, we believe that when we seek the best in one another, we just might find the very best in ourselves. This commencement is the fulfillment of a vision that was established more than a century ago, the creation of an academic community invested in the study and practice of the Foreign Service, a place devoted to preparing a new kind of public servant. In 1919, we established the School of Foreign Service 1 year following the armistice that brought an end to the First World War, 5 years before the establishment of the Foreign Service of the U.S. Department of State. At that time, during the earliest days of our school, our world was in the midst of a global pandemic, not unlike the pandemic we face now. Perhaps we can imagine what this moment was like for those who lived during this period, just over a century ago. And it was in this moment, following a world war, in the midst of a global pandemic, that our Georgetown community chose to view its responsibilities to the world in a new way, with the creation of this new school, and laid the foundation for us to be here this evening, now more than a century later. In 1919, in an academic ceremony in the presence of government leaders, faculty, and students, in a moment much like the one we share right now, Father Edmund Walsh, the Jesuit priest who led the establishment of our new School of Foreign Service, addressed the assembly and spoke to a new global reality. This is what he said, quote, "The awakened consciousness of essential human rights and their reciprocal obligations, together with the realization of the very definite lesson that the peoples of the world constitute one huge family whose interests are common and whose members are interdependent, has proved to be one of the most valuable byproducts of the world tragedy, now happily ended." Close quote. Father Walsh's words imbued our new school with a global mission, building on the international character of our university and setting forth ideas for engagement and cooperation that have sustained us now for more than 100 years. In order to fulfill our obligations, we need to support the formation of a distinctive character. In Father Walsh's words, and I quote, "a character of great soul, a great heart, a great mind." Now this vision of essential human rights and reciprocal obligations, the idea that we constitute one huge family whose interests are common and whose members are interdependent, this is the vision that guides this school, that has guided you, the vision that you have sustained during this period of immense challenge and uncertainty. Each of you, collectively your class, has demonstrated a great soul, a great heart, a great mind in service to our world. All of you are prepared now to bring your talents, your knowledge, your compassion, your empathy, your imagination in service to our world. And as you depart on this day of celebration and accomplishment, we are all so deeply grateful for all of the contributions that you have made to this community, and we look forward to the ways that your leadership and service will now contribute in ever deeper ways to the common good of our global community. Again, it is a privilege for us to be here, to be able to recognize this important milestone in your lives and the beginning of the next steps on your journeys. Now with this commencement, you embark on another special time in your lives. This is your time, and we are honored to share this moment with you. Congratulations to the class of 2022.
Thank you, President DeGioia. Please stand for the singing of the Alma Mater, which is located on the back of the commencement program book.
Hail, O Georgetown alma mater, swift Potomac's lovely daughter, ever watching by the water, smiles on us today. Now her children gather round her, lo, with garlands they have crowned her, reverent hands and fond and wound her with the blue and gray.
Please remain standing. As we turn to the benediction, please take a moment to remember your vibrant classmate, Ying Ying Mei, who left this world all too soon. And please keep in your thoughts our SFS alum, Austin Tice, a bold reporter who sought to bring suffering and the suffering of the Assyrian people to the world and who remains in captivity for nearly 10 years. We pray for his safe return. The benediction will now be offered by Dr. Brahmachari Sharan, Director for Dharmic Life and Hindu Spiritual Advisor.
It's only a benediction. Dearest sisters, brothers, and non-binary kin, namaste to each and every one of you. Our benediction for today comes from the 2,800-year-old Taittiriya Upanishad, and it asks graduating students to reflect upon wisdom. Why wisdom? During your time on the hilltop, you've acquired knowledge, and you have all rights to use it to enjoy your life in whatever way you wish. If, however, you choose to also employ that same knowledge compassionately in the selfless service of others without being motivated by fame or reward, then in accordance with the wise people of old, you would be acting through wisdom and not just knowledge. So please join me in closing your eyes and reflect for a moment on how your own journey from the hilltop will begin today as we listen to the words of our ancestors in the Sanskrit original and then in translation. Om Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara Swadhyayanma Pramadaha Satyana Pramaditavyam Dharmana Pramaditavyam Kushalana Pramaditavyam Om Shanti 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 Om. You have lived here with us for so much of your lives, dearest graduates, so here for a final time, a summary of our essential teachings before you depart. Be honest with yourself and others. Act with logic, reason, and compassion. Reflect and discuss regularly about how to better yourself and our society. Try not to stray from reasonable action, whatever be the incentives the world may offer. We do not ask you to neglect your own happiness, but know that in the joy of others, we can truly find our own. Share the wisdom you have gained from your teachers, bereft of any bias or any ulterior motive. Give unselfishly with moderation, joy, and wisdom. And if you ever find yourself lacking an answer or are confused as to the way forward, seek out humble and gentle, wise people and study their methods, for surely the way to true equitable betterment is through wisdom. This is the summary. And now embark upon and enjoy your new journey. Thank you. You may now open your eyes.
Will our guests please remain standing at their places until those on the stage and the graduates have recessed. The 2022 commencement exercises of Georgetown University School of Foreign Service are now officially closed. Congratulations.
Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, this is a lavalier Equalization tests for Mr. Chip Burden, test 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Strong administrative leadership.